guys, I'm Joel Dodge. Welcome back to the channel. So, IK Multimedia released this app called a Mixbox about a month ago. And what it is, it's a bunch of simulations of real world rack effects. But something that they did is actually included a bunch of guitar effects. They have a couple guitar amps and actually a couple racks that are simulating guitar pedals. So something that I've just been curious to check out is how these guitar effects sound and if they could actually be your guitar rig on iOS. So what you heard in the beginning was actually two patches that I made inside of Mixbox. So I wanted to show you guys how I made those. So guys, these are the two racks that I made for electric. This one is a distorted kind of crunchy sound, and this one is my clean sound. So we're going to go ahead and go through this one. I've set them up very similarly. The only differences really are the amp and overdrive that I chose and the echo. So I used the tape echo on this one, which this tape echo is really nice, and it's actually default set to a dotted eighth and an eighth note delay that go together, which sounds awesome. I just kind of leave this as is when I use it. And so the way I set this up is how I typically set up guitar effects. What I typically do is just start off with the amp. So what I did in this specific case is I came here, added an amp in this channel 3, set it to the settings that I like, which sound like this. And this is based off of like a Fender guitar amp, so it's a very clean sounding type of amp. So the next thing that I added was this cabinet simulation, and I actually just left it the way that it was by default because I just liked how that sounded the most. It's like the 412. This seemed to be the best setting to me, and it does kind of add some more body to the guitar tone. So, like you can hear right there. After that, I always like to put an overdrive. I feel like it kind of brings a little clarity and a little crunchiness to the signal. But you can see we're already starting to have a pretty good sound coming from this. I went ahead and added this compressor in the beginning. So that just kind of helps with the notes, just kind of sustaining and just kind of smoothing out everything you do. I know a lot of guitar players don't like to use a compressor all the time, but I do like to have a compressor on most of the time. So something else that I like to do is put my delays and reverbs after the cab simulation. I feel like that you just get more out of your delays and reverbs when you do that, when they're not being affected by how the guitar amp sounds. So I started with this digital delay, and I put it on a dotted eighth. Of course, I love dotted eighth. So, and that sounds like this. And I think that I like the way that the tape echo sounds better, but I chose to do the digital delay with this clean one because I felt like it helped retain some of the clarity of the notes and stuff like that. And after that, I put a hall reverb, and that sounds like this. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with how these patches came out. I set up this one in a very similar way. I just used the the over screamer instead of just the overdrive, and I used the tape delay on this one, which I think sounds really good. So guys, now that I showed you how those racks were set up, I wanted to keep working on this track, and I actually wanted to use a new app that just came out this week called Digitalism 2000. It's from AudioKit, and it's like a synthesizer that's supposed to replicate sounds from the 2000s, which is kind of a random idea that I wouldn't have thought I would like that much, but it's actually really cool. So we're gonna add some of those sounds to this track and keep working on it. So guys, now that I've actually used these patches to make this track and just kind of get a feel for how the guitar effects sound in Mixbox, I wanted to let you guys know my thoughts. I like it. I don't think it measures up to something like Bias Effects that's specifically designed for guitar, right? Where you have all these different options and you even have impulse responses in there and stuff like that. Those things really do bring your guitar tone to the next level. Where I think this is really cool is if you already bought this because you want to improve your mixing on iOS and you've just started getting into guitar or you occasionally need to put effects on guitar, I think that this is perfect for people like that. But if you're serious about guitar, I would recommend getting something like Bias Effects or Through Mobile, something that's specifically designed with guitar in mind and has impulse responses. All that being said, I did really enjoy using these, and I actually wanted to end this video with doing a guitar solo over this track. But as always, die empty. I'll catch you in the next one.